What do you want to talk about?
Culture violence. South Africans, welcome. Welcome to the channel again. It's me, Advocate Speaks. Apparently, I talk a lot. So hopefully that's not the impression that you guys have. There's something that's really bothering me, and it's something that I thought that I share a few thoughts about it, and it's an issue of violence in this country, and and it's really saddening because we the culture of rights seems to create certain entitlements and expectations, and I'm not sure whether people forget about the corresponding obligations that are there. But when protesters want certain issues from the government, like service delivery, I'm not sure why it is necessary always to resort to violence as a means to persuade your government to do what they promised to do. Is there not a better way to hold them accountable, like at the ballots? There are, for example, currently what's happening in the truck industry, where people claim that foreigners come into this country and more of them are hired in the industry than South Africans. Whether this is true or not, I really, for me, it's neither here nor there. I think the issue is, if there are laws in this country and they are being violated, then obviously the government needs to deal with it. And if the government fails to deal with it meaningfully, it opens room for criminal elements to come in and take over the space. And this is what I've seen with the banning of a lot of trucks and lives being lost. Somebody's father, somebody's parent, somebody's spouse. These are things that we do not want to see. The visuals on TV that are just disheartening. And I'm not saying that there's no reason why you're complaining, but is there not a better way to complain? And even if we need to get to a point where we are mature as a democracy and as a people to find alternative ways in dealing with our own issues. One, we are not entitled, and I'll say it very simply, South Africans, we are not entitled for white people and white businesses to hire us. We are not entitled. We need to start owning up the space and getting involved more and more in the economy so that we can hire ourselves. And when people that are foreign come into this country and productively contribute to the development of our society, why should we complain? And anyway, what have you been doing when they come in and take ownership of the space? Clearly, there is something. If you cannot meaningfully compete, why go and burn their houses, burn their spaza shops? Because you need to compete. So there is a culture of entitlement. There's a culture of violence that's breeding. And I don't think that we are setting ourselves for success in the long run, because all we are doing is that we are taking away from the unity that we want to create on the African continent. And we are also equally making ourselves as South Africans vulnerable in the very continent that we believe we co-own. And if we as an African community want to take ownership and take our space in the family of nations, surely we need to be united. And if we are divisive in how we deal with the problems that we are faced with in our own country, and we are basically not in a position to meaningfully address our differences and concerns, then we will forever have problems in unifying the continent. If I see myself, for example, as better because I come from South Africa, see myself better as those that are in Malawi, in Ghana, in Nigeria, or anywhere else, then surely I have a problem. So all I'm trying to say, South Africans, is that if we have issues, dialogue is better than violence. If we have issues, holding our government accountable is better than violence. And we must also never forget that the violence that we emit today is the violence that we'll receive tomorrow. And Violence, I always say, begets violence. And this is something that we must be very serious of. So all I want to conclude with today is we need to ensure that we find better ways, innovative ways to address the problems that we are faced with in this country as opposed to resorting to violence. And if we want the unity that we're talking about, then we surely need to respect each other and be each other's keepers. I hope somebody has listened somewhere in this country and that you will have indeed a fantastic festive season as we go forward. Thank you very much.